Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? 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 Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 14-day prosperity reset. Such a pleasure to have you on board. Woo! Okay, so welcome. This is all about resetting your life, I would say, resetting. We come to this earth, as babies. We probably have some knowledge as to what we're supposed to do to kind of bring life together. But as life continues to happen, as we grow older, we're told no's and we're told we can't do this and we can't do the other, and we can do certain things, but we can't do the other things. And we stop listening to ourselves. We stop listening to what we're capable of, and we start listening to what other people tell us we're capable of. We get put into boxes. We get put into roles that you are supposed to play, and you're supposed to continue playing them forever. You're exposed to things on TV and the news and everywhere, ultimately, all telling you a rhetoric, all giving you a story of what you're supposed to be, what you're allowed to be, who you are supposed to be, what you can do, all of that stuff. And you start little by little buying into certain things. Now, in some cases, for us particularly here as ambitious spiritual people and deliberate millionaires, now that you've come into our wonderful little community, that we try our best to hold on to a sense of identity, but we find it feels as though you're fighting against a whole tide of who knows what. Basically, and you there's discomfort within you trying to decide who to be, to carry on, to follow along with the call of your heart towards a certain career, towards a certain relationship, towards a certain whatever, or to go along with what you've been told is the best thing for you, what success should look like, blah 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 blah, all of that stuff. And it does seep in. No matter how independent thinking you are, it seeps in. And it gets to the point where you do not realize just how powerful you are. You forget that actually you are one with the divine. You forget that. You start to think that the physical reality is all that there is. You start to think that you need to just react to whatever is happening in the physical reality and accept whatever comes to you from the physical reality, be grateful for it, settle for whatever, give up the big ideas because the chances are they're not going to happen for you, or at least limit them. So you're someone who probably has achieved certain goals, but there's a part of you that was always kind of felt as if you get so far and not any further. You know there's more for you, and yet you can't seem to reach it. And as you get older and older and older, and the more responsibilities, more demands on you, more people's agendas that you're trying to fulfill, and blah 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 blah, you almost start to forget what you are here for. Except there's something inside of you saying, "I want more. I am meant for more." And for some of y'all, you get, like I definitely did, get to a moment in your life where it's like, enough, enough. This is not the life I'm meant to be living. I am meant for something more. And then you start to figure things out. For some, maybe there's discomfort, there's dissatisfaction inside of you, and you've been asking for help from the divine, from your ancestors, from whatever. You're asking for help, basically. And ultimately, you came across this. Now, I like to say to people, and there's no mistake about you being here. No mistake at all about you being here. You did need support or want support, and it is here if you will do something with it. Because really, it becomes a series of decisions. Will you continue to carry on along the line of life as people have decided for you? Or will you step off that path and get onto your own? I like to call it the deliberate millionaire path, a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life, which, of course, for each person is going to look a little bit different, but you get to define it. Because there is power within you to create whatever life you desire. But as I said, with life happening, we forget. And you get into these habits that lead in a certain direction, and you start to tell yourself stories. And we'll talk a lot about some of these things, but in some ways, I want to keep it all very simple. This is a reset. This is your opportunity to reset things, to get off the path that you've just kind of been shuffled onto and get back on your own path. You are meant to live a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched life. But as I said, it is going to be a series of decisions. You made the decision to be here. Great, we started. But then you have to make the decision to actually do the thing, because knowing about the thing is not the same as doing the thing. Okay? And so it's a series of decisions, because you made a series of decisions, whether you did it passively or unconsciously or not. You made a series of decisions. As soon as you became an adult, your life became your responsibility. And at some point, you decided to go along with the rhetoric as you were told growing up and blah, 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 blah. And it hasn't satisfied you. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be here if everything was going well and everything was amazing and your relationships were great and you had lots of money in the bank and the job you were doing was amazing and the business was working and you're in perfect health. You wouldn't be here. You're here because there's something inside of you that knows that you're meant for something more. Take advantage of this. Actually do it. I don't do this stuff because if I was doing this just because there's some kind of marketing gimmick, then it would be a 3-day thing or a 5-day thing. So it's short and sweet, and then I can sell you something at the end of it, basically. And yeah, there's stuff for sale. The abundance, the invitation to stay in abundance after you finish this 14 days is going to be made to you. Absolutely, it is. I've made it affordable because I know that this work, this resetting work, yes, this 14 days starts it where you reset and get yourself on path to remembering your power to create the life you're meant for. Okay, now abundance is all about, or the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering, it's all about you manifesting the money, the resources you need to live in your purpose. And it's going to take time, which is why I make things really affordable, because it's going to take time of immersing yourself in a different way of thinking. The way you have been thinking, the ways you've been exposed to, they've taken you so far. You want something different. We need a reset, draw a line in the sand. No more. Am I going that way? And now start a different way. It starts with this 14 days. This is like a divine activation. Call it what you will. Okay. Oh, you're not even seeing my face. You're not seeing my face. Oh my gosh. I thought you were looking at me. Oh, maybe you are. Maybe there's a little screen down there. I think there is. I don't know. But whichever way. Yes, this is a live activation. You asked for support. You're here. There's no mistake about you being here. But again, you have free will. So the invitation will keep coming for you to stay on path. Do the simple things. I will send out reminders. Do it. Please don't just listen to me, get all excited, and then go back to your old life. It's not going to work. I do expect every single person who does this with consistency and with focus and with your heart, you will have some kind of tangible breakthrough. A lot of people get some kind of money showing up in their life. A lot of people, it's some kind of health issue breaks, as in it gets better. So they break through with the health, or a relationship breakthrough, or something you feel more confident. You're going to get some kind of tangible breakthrough in this 14 days. At the very most, you need to take it to 30 days if for whatever reason you don't get a tangible breakthrough in the 14 days. But a lot of the examples I will show you, people did this within the first 7 days, actually, they got some kind of result. But I decided to extend it to 14 days. And for some, I tell you to do it for 30 days. Simple things, just 7 simple things. If in fact, really every day is just 6 simple things, but I'll talk you through it. Simple things. They do not involve anybody else. All I ask is, yes, that you come into the group and show up. Show up. Why? Because you must immerse yourself in a different way of thinking, or else you will continue being immersed in the way that in whatever you're surrounded with right now. And this is what it has got you. You already see the result of what being immersed in what you're currently immersed in has got you. If you want something different, it isn't going to be all this jumping around. Try this little free thing for a few days. Oh my God, that person said if I did this for 3 days, then everything will change. And then you try that for a bit, you try that for a bit, try that for a bit, and you never stay consistent with anything for long enough to get a result, then nothing will change, my loves. I'm asking you to give yourself at least 14 days, if not 30, and then stick around. This isn't some flash in the pan, just try a little few things here and there. No. You have had decades to learn, in some ways, the wrong way to do life. You got so far. We all got so far. We all got so far. But if you want more, it's going to take immersion for a period of time in a different way of living. Anyway, this 14-day thing is to help you break those old patterns, to help you reconnect more deeply with the divine, and to have that tangible breakthrough if you will allow it. If you will allow it, you always have free choice, guys. There's a chat box there. I would love to hear you saying hello. Tell me where you're streaming in from. That would be great. So say hello in the chat there. That'd be great. But in the meantime, this is an example of someone who did do it. I think I actually now have. So that's what they actually wrote. But I think I put it longer so you could see it a little bit better. But ultimately, she found some money under a chair. Somebody PayPal'd her money. Blah blah blah. All of this stuff happened within the first 7 days, actually. So as you can see, this, because I did it as a 7-day thing originally, put these pieces together and did it as a 7-day thing just to see if I can help activate people's, because again, there's a power inside of you. You are one with the divine. We've forgotten that we are. We've forgotten that we are. And we start living this kind of weakish life where you think the only power you have is how hard you can work. How much harder can you work than the next person? How much longer can you work than the next person? And so we do this stuff. And it's like at some point you're going to burn out. Your body's going to get fed up. You can't do that indefinitely. And you forget that you are a divine being having a human experience. You're not just a human experience. Yes, of course, we have to do practical things. Absolutely. So this isn't ever about, let's just pray forever and then miracles will happen. No, you are the miracle. Okay, you are the miracle. You awakening fully to the power within you as well as the power without you, in and out. So using both your spiritual authority and your practical action, pairing them together, that's when things start to change. And it takes time because we are all so programmed. Even I'm talking here. I don't talk to you as some kind of guru. I'm learning myself. Because we all learned to react to the physical reality as though it was the most important thing, when actually the physical reality is the final manifestation of what you've already created within you. Okay, so we need to reverse the polarity, is what I like to call it. Reverse the polarity, start living from within. Does not mean taking no action, and I'll talk about that at some point. But so even what we're talking to doing here, there's certain actions that you're going to have to take, okay, in order for it to manifest in the physical. Anyway, have you said hi? Let me come see. Come on, hey Shirley, hi, lovely to have you here. Come on, guys, there's more than Shirley here. So say hi, where you streaming from? Say hi, where you streaming from? Say hello. And where are you listening from? Come on, say hello. Tell me where you're listening in from. Okay, so be very present here. Be very in the room. Have a notebook with you. There's going to be some stuff to take down. Whew, and I'm going to try and keep it to less than an hour. It's supposed to be only 45 minutes, but I always talk too much. So have mercy on me here. But anyway, no distractions. Be very present here. Hi, Wendy. Lovely to have you here. Manchester, you're here in the UK with me. Woo! Unless it's some kind of Manchester, Massachusetts or something. I don't think there is one. I'm not sure, but I think it's the UK, in which case, well, hey, here we are in the UK together. Yay, UK. Okay. No distractions. Be very present here. This ultimately is for you if you know that you are someone who is destined for greatness. Now, it is not something that we like to say out loud. It sounds really pretentious, doesn't it? I'm destined for greatness. Well, in this community, you can say it, and I don't see it as pretentious. I just see it as the truth of you. I see it as the truth of you, okay? And I need you to start seeing it as the truth of you as well, so you stop settling for less. Okay, now, right now, you might feel a bit stuck. You might wonder what's getting in the way. I've told you some of the things that are getting in the way. And you might wonder when it might be your turn. You're trying to be thankful, but sometimes life is a struggle. It can be a struggle. It's not supposed to be that way, but we're human. Okay, it can be a struggle at times, but you're ready for change. At least I hope that's why you're here. You're here, not for some kind of 3-day, 5-day, let's do some kind of miracle, something that doesn't actually work or it doesn't work for long. Listen, be here and really be here. Really be here. It's like I can make these invitations, but it's ultimately up to you to make a decision that enough is enough. I had to get to that point in my life where enough was just freaking enough. Okay, where I finally, well, even then it's part of a journey. But I'm Rosemary Nonunite. In case you don't know, you might be new to the community. I'm a weird blend of African and English. I was born in the UK, and then I went back to Nigeria for quite a big chunk of my youth. I came back when I was 17. I came back to the UK when I was 17, and then did my pharmacy, became a pharmacist, struggled through all of that. There was a whole lot of stories. I could tell you stories that make you weep, basically. But ultimately, I became, finally, I did become this pharmacist, and then realized Is this it for the rest of my life? Really? But as you do, as you're an adult, it's like, well, I have to be responsible. I just have to do whatever. Except I started saying yes to everyone because now I had more money than I'd had before as a pharmacist. So I figured I was blessed to be a blessing. So let's distribute the money everywhere, basically. And I started getting into debt a heck of a lot faster than I had before. So and next thing I know, I'm 7 months pregnant with my first child, and I am going bankrupt, basically, because they felt like the only solution. Of course, now with hindsight, I know there were so many other things I could have done, but I did not know those things then. So anyway, I went bankrupt, and I woke up the next morning and realized, I woke up the next morning and felt dead inside. Ultimately, everything inside of me, all my emotions, everything just seemed to die off. I call it the blank, and that was for 4 years. For 4 years, I felt the blank. I realized now that I was quite depressed and I felt like a failure ultimately. And the only way I could deal with it, the only way I could deal with this feeling of, look at me, I had always felt like I was going to do great things and I'd gone bankrupt. And to me, that was terrible, frankly. So yes, I'd woken up the next morning, felt all of this stuff. Well, didn't feel anything. I just knew that I felt as if I'd left the building and I was kind of watching myself live. But anyway, I gave birth to my children and all of that during that 4-year period. And it was actually after my third child, working as a pharmacist and wanted to bring them up. But I wanted to home educate, but I didn't think that it was going to be possible because I had all this debt and I needed to go back to work full time and all of that. So I was doing my work. And then I was having this phone call with a family member. He was yelling down the phone at me because I wasn't sending money for something that was so important, of course. And it was, I suppose. But I didn't have money to send. So, and I hadn't told them I'd gone bankrupt. Okay, so they didn't really know this because I felt so ashamed of myself. I didn't tell anyone, apart from my husband, of course, who had to live with it. But at this point, that was my first enough moment. Enough is enough. This is not meant to be my life. This is not meant to be my life. So at this point, I woke up and realized, well, I've known the divine forever. I've been, spiritual forever. I've sought the divine forever. But the divine is not going to make you live in your purpose. The divine wasn't going to make me live in my purpose. The divine was not going to make me live a more prosperous life. I had to finally realize I had the power to change my life. And if anything was to be, it was up to me, right? And so I woke up and started thinking, okay, what can I do around the children? I want to home educate my children and I need money. What can I do? So then I started looking at different things and went into property investing because that seemed, one, they were selling it to me as no money down. And also it seemed like something I could do around the children because, again, I wanted to home educate them. And so I did do that. I did have to put lots of money down originally, which I did not have. So I had to borrow money but to get training because I didn't know anything about anything. And I suddenly realized to myself, well, to become a pharmacist that I didn't even want to do, I'd paid out God knows how much to become this pharmacist. Well, okay, I'd taken out student loans in order to become this pharmacist. And there was no question in my mind that I needed to pay for an education. So why? Because I dabbled at business before all of this happened. But I dabbled at it as soon as it got hard, I'd quit, okay? But before all of this happened, I would never get in training because I'm not paying for such things. And look at all this, that's too exorbitant. I can't pay for that, basically. But then I suddenly realized I had paid out I owed the government a heck of a lot of money for an education that I didn't even want. And yet, when it came to doing something that I wanted, I would not do whatever was necessary to come up with the money. How silly was that to me? Anyway, at that point, I realized how stupid my thinking was. So I did do whatever I needed to do. I got quite resourceful because my credit was short and all of that. Got resourceful about getting the training that I needed. And within 18 months, I had, because in my mind, there was this quiet determination. This money is coming back. I feel as if I'm stealing it from my children's mouth. This money is freaking coming back. Okay. And so, yes, I did get the money back. Within 18 months, I was making multi-six figures. I won a Porsche Boxster as well for Businesswoman of the Year, which was pretty dang amazing. My husband was, there's a picture of that there somewhere. My husband was like, whoa, because he was more enamored by the car than I was. I must admit, the car was just like, yeah, it's nice. But for him, it was like, oh my God, we have a Porsche Boxster now. I'm like, yeah, we do that. Whereas for me, it was more like when you really set your mind to something, Rosemary, there's nothing you can't do. And I would say the same to you. When you really set your mind to something, there's nothing you can't do. So anyways, 18 months, did have multi-six figures, realized I hate doing this. It was the same as being a pharmacist. It's like I taken this sideways step because, again, it was practical, right? The thing I really wanted to do felt unreal. It felt, can people actually make money from teaching spiritual principles, from helping people make their life work better? Is it possible? Guess what I'm doing now? Way! And guess what? It is possible. It was always possible. But I didn't believe it was possible at that point. But thankfully, I was working with a coach who did ask me, what do you really want to do, Rosemary? So at that point, I said coaching. And he was like, well, why don't you do it now? I was like, oh, well, I need at least another 20, 30, 40, 50 years of experience. And then maybe I'll be qualified enough to help other people. And he's like, just start now. So then I started teaching people what I'd done in property. So I became a business coach first, teaching people what I'd done in property to kind of get myself out of pharmacy, because I got myself out of pharmacy, and all of that. But then little by little, I started introducing what I actually wanted, because as I said, at that point, I didn't believe it was possible. And I didn't think anybody wanted to hear about my spiritual anything. So I wasn't talking about spirituality. I had another coach say to me, you're lying to people that if you know that the only reason why you're doing so well, or one of the reasons why you're doing so well, is because your connection to the divine, and you're not mentioning your connection to the divine at all, then isn't it kind of a lie? And I'm like, but nobody wants to hear that. But I finally found the courage to start sharing who I was. And anyway, long story short, here we are. Blah. Okay, ultimately. But it was a continuous, as I said, decision after decision after decision. And sometimes I made the wrong one. Sometimes I made the right ones. Sometimes I just went on the scenic route. And sometimes I stayed on the straight and narrow. But we're all going to be called to make these choices. All of us. If you do want to live in your, live luxuriously, as I like to call it, in your purpose, you're going to have to make certain choices. This is one of them. Listening to this is one of them. Actually doing it is another one of them. I really hope you choose to actually do it, because it's not enough to just listen to me talk, get all inspired for a few seconds, and then go back to your regular life. Why would anything change? And the regular life is not going to suddenly stop being busy or stop being demanding. You have to change. You are the one that creates it from within. Life is actually supposed to be simple. It's actually supposed to be easy. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that's the truth, but it is the actual truth. The thing is that we are human, and we make everything complicated, and prosperity is meant to be your regular experience. It's your divine right. It's supposed to be your regular experience, but we forget. The pain, the limiting beliefs of the past cause us to kind of create all these unnecessary difficulties for ourselves. And then we tell ourselves we have no choice. If you knew my life, Rosemary, then you wouldn't say that. In fact, if you want me to know your life, we can have a conversation and I can tell you where you're doing it to yourself. Basically, you may not want to hear it, but I can tell you where you're doing it to yourself. All of us, in some ways, complicate our lives more than we need to. And if you remember just how powerful you are, because you are one with the divine, it would make a heck of a lot of a difference to the content of your life, okay? You need to understand this. You are the one with all the choices. You are the one with all the choices. Whenever you think to yourself, I have no choice, I have to do this, I have to do that, it's a lie. It's a lie. It is a lie. A lie that you truly, completely believe, but it's still a lie. Okay? It's a lie. You can rise victorious if you choose to. Again, this is one choice. But please do not go all human on me during this experiment. What do I mean? Please don't add anything to what I'm asking you to do. Don't add anything to it. Some of you might have studied law of attraction, read all Bible, the whole Bible 20 million times, or maybe read the Quran 20 million times, or whatever book your sacred book is. Maybe you have all that. Wonderful. But if all of that stuff could have helped you get where you want to go, it would have done. It hasn't done. So please, the simple things I ask you to do here, at least for this 14 to 30 days, just do the simple things. Simple things. Do not add anything to it. Do not add anything to it. I have people still coming into group and saying, well, I felt led to change what you said to do to this. I'm like, well, remember I said, don't add anything to it. Please don't add anything to it. I know you are intuitive. I know you're that, but don't add anything to it. Don't add anything to it. Okay. And stop jumping around. Stop jumping around. At some point, I will take us off Facebook, because yes, Facebook can be very, very distracting with all the different adverts, different stuff. You can, oh, look at that. I could do that. Oh, I could do that. Oh, look at that. Oh my God, if I do that, that will definitely. Again, most of these things, I'm sure they can work. But if you do not give anything time to work for you, nothing will work. Okay? So stop jumping around. Stop with the instant gratification stuff. Please be consistent. I have people again always saying, oh, that's my problem. I love to start things, but I find it really difficult to finish things. Who is making that choice? Because they say it to me as if, It's something outside of their control. There's nothing I can do about it. I start things and then I forget and I lose momentum and it's I'm just helpless against this. No, you're not. I love you, honey. I do. And I listen to this and I think, yeah, but you're the one that is making the choice to do so. Love you all. Okay. For some of you, I don't know, I'm sure I'm speaking directly to you, aren't I? But this is it. You are the one that gets to choose to be consistent or not. You can set timers on your phone and then make sure that at this time I'm going to do this. And in fact, right now you can make a decision when these simple things that are going to take you about half an hour max. If you, of course, if you want to take longer, you can do, but maximum half an hour. Maximum half an hour. When are you going to fit that half an hour in? Okay. Are you going to do it in the morning? Are you going to do it in the evening? Right now, consider to yourself, when am I going to fit half an hour for me in? Because it is for you. When are you going to fit that half an hour in? Are you going to do it just before you go to bed? Personally, I like to do things first thing in the morning because it sets up my day. Are you going to do it? And I'd love you to put it in the chat if you're willing. Right now, think through your day. When am I going to fit this in? It's going to take me half an hour. Am I willing to wake up just a little bit earlier each day so that I'm not immediately drawn into all the chaos of the day or whatever these children want from me or parents want from me or the boss wants from me, blah, blah. Can I commit to half an hour first thing in the morning or half an hour just before I go to bed? What is your commitment? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I would love to see. Come on, guys. Engage with me. What is your commitment? Are you going to do it first thing? I know you don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to tell you, and it's very simple. There's nothing you can't do. Very, very simple stuff. Okay. Morning or evening, feel free to put it in the chat. I would love to know. Come on, guys. Morning or evening. There's a few of you here. Come on. Morning or evening. What are you committing to? Because ultimately, you need to choose to be consistent. You need to choose to be consistent. It is your choice. It is not something that happens to you. Inconsistency is a choice you make. Whether you make it passively or deliberately, it is a choice that you make, okay? So are you going to be consistent? I hope so. I hope so. First thing in the morning. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so this is another example of someone here who did do this over the 7 days when it was still a 7-day thing, and they got some unexpected refunds there. So yes, she's shouting about miracles being real. Whoa! She had 2 refunds from an insurance company, and that's kind of thing I want you to start watching out for. You might have people paying for your lunches. You might have money coming in from who knows where, winning stuff. My husband won a phone for me yesterday, which was just amazing. He came home with this new phone. It's like, whoa! He'd won it. It's like, yeah. Bring it. Very exciting times. Anyway, but yeah, like when I did it, the first time I did it, I got tax payouts that I really was not expecting at all, and it was like 1,800 in the first 4 days of doing this, and then I found 300 pounds around the house. So expect things to happen. I don't know that everybody's going to have big huge amounts or whatever. I've had people that got 3,000 after doing it for 30 days because they didn't quit after the 14. So it's possible. You will have some kind of breakthrough if you do it, if you stay consistent with it until you have a breakthrough. Don't stop. Okay, now we'll quickly start talking about some of the underlying principles and how this works. So what I call the foundational deliberate millionaire beliefs, which I do invite you to inspect. You don't have to take them on yet, but start to look at them. You'll also get some training about this as we go through the weeks. Please make sure you are looking at your emails. Make sure you are looking at your emails because you will be reminded. So for all of y'all that are talking about, I can't be consistent, watch your emails. You'll get the reminder to do it. Put it on your phone. Set up a phone. You don't have to wait for my reminders if you don't want to, but I do want you to look at your emails as well because there's invitations to do some of the things that I ask you to do in this 14 days. Anyway, the 5 foundational deliberate millionaire beliefs. Number 1, you are the authority in your life. I've kind of tried to say this in different kind of ways so far, but understand this. You are the authority in your life. Nothing can exist in your future without your say so. And I know that can sometimes blow the mind when you really think about it, but when you know who you are and the power you have, you will stop leaving things to chance. And, oh, it's just coincidence. Oh, no. You are the authority in your life. Okay? Number 2, you are one with the divine, and therefore you are powerful and you are limitless. And deepening that connection with the divine. Deepening that connection with the divine so that you are able to wield divine energy, which is love energy ultimately, and use it to create the stuff that you want from within first. That is part of being a deliberate millionaire. It's part of being a spiritual person, really. It's part of being a person, actually. But you're here in the deliberate millionaire world, so we call it a part of being a deliberate millionaire. Okay. Your purpose, number 3, your purpose here on planet Earth is to enjoy your life here on planet Earth. The purpose here on planet Earth, because lots of people are, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Your purpose is to enjoy being here. So in which case, the actual real question is not what is my purpose, because your purpose is just to enjoy being here on this planet and making the most of it. So the real question is, what do you want? What would you enjoy? Okay, so each person that's going to look different. What would you enjoy? What would enable you to enjoy your life here on planet Earth? You are here for, if you're anything like me, you've decided you're going to be here for 120 years. What would you like to experience in that 120 years? The choice is yours, and that is part of your purpose. And purpose isn't just about your work, it's about every area of your life. What would help you enjoy it? Figure that stuff out. That is your purpose. Okay. Number 4, I can leave behind the pain and limiting beliefs of the past, and I can rise victorious in my true design. You can. You do not have to be controlled by old beliefs. You don't have to be controlled by old trauma. You can leave it all behind. You can rise over it. You can, with all the training you're getting in the group, the stuff I ask you to immerse yourself in, all of that, if you would allow yourself to take on these new thoughts, these new beliefs, you will surprise yourself. I mean, for some of you, you've already done quite amazing things. In fact, I would say all of you have done amazing things. You may not consider it amazing because to you, it's just, well, I just lived. Okay. But there's more. Okay. If you will immerse yourself in new ways of thinking, you'll suddenly find that your actions start to take on more powerful or get more powerful results because you're coming from a different foundation. But anyway, ultimately, you can leave behind the pain and limiting beliefs of the past and rise victorious in your true design. And I teach you how to do all of that. And number 5 is you create your own reality. And this is in some ways the practical part. And most of 1 to 4 there, in some ways, is quite internal. But number 5 is you actually physically create your own reality. You do have to do certain actions in order to make it to life because you're a human being and you're a divine being. You're not just one or the other. So you must partner spiritual authority with practical action. And then you create your own reality. You create your own reality. You have a heck of a lot more power than you realize. This will, I think in day 2 or day 3 or whatever, in the reminder, these beliefs will be brought to you, as well as a link to the longer blog post where I explain it in more details. And maybe one day I'll do something within the group to go into each individual one and explain it in more depth. But these are foundational deliberate millionaire beliefs. If you start taking them on, it will change your life. It will. I almost hate saying change your life because that sounds so change your life. But it will. Sometimes there's no other way to say what it will do. Key areas to check for prosperity. Number 1 is your underlying paradigm. Your underlying paradigm. Now, sometimes people wonder why, for some people, they do some of these manifestation-y things, and then they get results really quickly, or they can quickly build their business. They can whatever. And the truth of for each person, it's different. How long it's going to take you to shift your beliefs and actually get to where you want to go is going to be different. Why? Because of your background, because of your underlying paradigm. If there's a part of you that thinks you have to fight for every single little thing, it'll be you're coming from that paradigm, where somebody else might be coming from a paradigm where there's more than enough. So they just expect that everything is going to work for them, whereas you expect that you're going to have to fight for everything. And you may not even know that it's a belief about life rather than the actual reality of life. For you, it's the reality of life, but it's not. It's actually just a belief about life. But your experience, or so you say, tells you that you have to fight for everything. That the divine might punish you. That love is conditional and you have to earn it. You have to prove yourself. You have to play the black tax, and you have to, each culture has its own beliefs about life, which can be empowering or really disempowering. But because you've lived in it for so long, you don't even see it as a belief. You think it is the truth, basically. And I have people argue with me about beliefs, and I'm like, well, if you really want to carry on believing that way, then you carry on. I don't want to fight about it. These days, I used to fight about it a lot. I used to want to fight about these things. And I realize now that you cannot argue with somebody into a new belief. They're going to have to almost have the revelation of it and choose to believe differently. But can you see if you look at the screen right there, there's various ways that you can look at life. And if you come from particularly the ones on the my right. If you believe that money is scarce and hard to get, then it will be scarce and hard to get for you. If you believe that one wrong mistake, oh my god, one mistake is going to ruin everything, then the chances are you'll make a mistake and then you'll quit doing anything, because to you it's the end of everything. Whereas somebody else will make a mistake and just think, oh well, carry on, moving on, basically. And your paradigm is so important for what you allow yourself to experience in terms of prosperity. So have a look at those, and I would exhort you that if any of them particularly resonated, that you start to, particularly on the right, that you start to consider going more towards the left. Okay, there's plenty of time for what matters. I belong wherever I go. I'm good. I'm enough. Life supports me. I can recover and rise from my mistake. You want those kind of paradigms, but again, this is not something you're going to do all at once. It's not something that's going to happen in. Oh, what is happening? I don't know what this is showing me. Oh, okay, because I'm having everybody's view. Sorry, I'm getting. I'm having fun here, changing the viewpoint. I think I'll just leave it there. Yes, excuse me. Anyway, carrying on here. But yes, underlying paradigm is one area to look for prosperity, and also to be patient with yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because you don't know where they're coming from. And I suppose that's really what I want to get through to you, which is why some people will get a tangible breakthrough in 7 days, other people will get it in 14 days, some other people get it in 30 days, because of your underlying paradigm. Where are you coming from? Okay, so don't compare yourself to anybody else. You're on your path. Stay on your path. The words that you're thinking, the words that you're saying, of course, have an impact on how much you allow yourself to prosper. Your frequency ultimately is just, how do you feel? If you're always feeling down in the dumps, or feeling this apathetic approach to life, or this low level sadness all the time, it's going to have an impact on how much you allow yourself to prosper ultimately, because it does. The higher frequency, sometimes people don't even understand the power of this, because I think I went to church for so long, and I've always been a member of a Happy Clappy church, and I was always in the worship team because I'm all about the music. And when you're at the height, some of you have been to church, I don't know, some of you have not, but when you're at the height of worship and you're really feeling connected to the divine, that is the time when you can manifest things so easily, because your heightened emotions, and sometimes, unfortunately, we were told that we shouldn't get so heightened emotionally. We should, be calm all the time. It's like, come on. But anyway, your frequency matters. Your frequency matters. If you do go to church and you get those experiences, use it as a time to manifest things. Okay? Do not allow somebody else to tell you that you should not be just about the entertainment of church. Ooh, I'm getting voices now. Okay, I think I need to mute everyone. Ooh, where are we? I'm getting voices. I didn't know that people could unmute themselves. Let's mute everyone. Mute. Okay, muting everyone. That way I'm not getting voices. Okay, I think everybody's muted now. Yeah. Okay, carrying on. So, frequency, how do you normally feel? That's something to watch out for. And your actions also are an indicator of what you truly believe or feel. Again, when people tell me the whole, I can't be consistent, usually, yes, well, you're the only person that can't choose to be consistent. But one of the underlying reasons why you wouldn't be consistent with something like this is that you don't actually believe it's going to work for you. And or somebody says they want to be in business, but they've been talking about it for the last 10 years. And it's like, no, you just don't believe that it can work for you. Because if you truly believed that something was going to work for you, nothing would stop you. Nothing would stop you. So notice, you need to start being awake to your feelings, your underlying paradigm, your words, and your actions. Notice, start to be aware. One of the things about being a deliberate millionaire is really a growth of self-awareness. You are the authority in your life. Walking through life kind of really passively, I did it for ages. That's why I came up with the whole live life deliberately, because it wasn't until I woke up and started living life deliberately that life changed for me. Before that, it was just like, oh, well, this happened, let's react. Oh, that happened, let's react. Oh, well, that happened. That's why I'm like this. I have no choice. No, I always had a choice. I just didn't realize that I did. But ignorance can only be bliss for so long. When you're ready, when you're really wanting to go beyond where you've gone before, you cannot do it passively. You cannot do it ignorantly. You have to wake up. You're here. It's time to wake up. Okay, it's time to wake up. It's time to get deliberate. But I do say, please be graceful towards yourself, or be gracious towards yourself. Be patient with yourself. I don't care where you're starting from. You can change every aspect of your life, but be patient with yourself. And do not compare yourself to anybody else. Okay. So we need to practice these things. This is where the 7 steps come in. So let's start. Get your notebooks out. Okay. Get your notebooks out. We are now going to start talking about the 7 steps or 7 simple actions I would like you to take over the next 14 to 30 days. Okay. Number 1, please write this down. And when you have written it down, please put in the chat, done, 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 done. I will wait until at least one done. So, but the first affirmation here is, I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Please write that down. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Write that down. And once it's written, please say done, 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 done in the chat so that I know you've done it. Okay. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Let me know when you've written it down, and then we will continue. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Done, 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 done. Tell me when you're done. That's all I want to know. Tell me when you're done, and then we will continue. Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you, Wendy, though. Thank you. Anybody else? But anyway, we're going to carry on, or else we'll be here forever. So that first affirmation, I would like you to write it down 25 times. Okay, 25 times. And day 1 to 4. You don't have to write it 25 times right now. Right now, you listen to me. But day 1 to 4. Let your day 1 be this evening after I send you the replay, or tomorrow morning, whatever works for you. Remember, evening or morning. When are you choosing to do this? Let it start this evening or let it start tomorrow morning. Let that be your day 1. Okay, so day 1 to 4, that's the affirmation we're going to use. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I'm willing to increase my capacity for prosperity now. Please write it down. Do not type it up. I want you to feel it and to say it as you're writing, okay? Unless there's something really, really, really wrong with your hands, in which case, fine, type it up. But for the other part, for everybody else, for most people, just write it. There's something about using more of your senses to create this stuff that will help you get focused. Okay, that's day 1 to 4. The second affirmation from day 5 to 14, please write this one down. I accept prosperity as my divine right. I accept prosperity as my divine right. And if I could get some dones from you again, that would be awesome when you've written it down. Come on, guys. There's a few of you here. I know some people dialed in, so in which case you might not be able to actually use the chat box, in which case you are forgiven. But everybody else that actually clicked through, then yes, you can put some dones in the chat. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Oh, write it down, say it, really feel into that statement. I accept prosperity as my divine right. I accept prosperity as my divine right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. And that is, as I said, day 5 to 14. And you write this down 25 times, okay? So obviously this is a bit shorter than the first one, so it'll take you a bit less time, but even the first one will take you maximum about 15 minutes to do, and that's cool, okay? So that's that. Now, this is an example of somebody who did this. Again, they got unexpected 300 quid put into their account from a relative. Again, these kind of things happen all the time. Watch out for them. Watch out for them. One of the biggest things I find with my private clients is that they don't notice when things happen because they're paying more attention to what is not quite working yet. And so one of the steps is going to actually tell you what to do to stop doing that. Action 3. These words, write them down. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. You can even add wealth, success. Wealth, success. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Wealth, success. Wealth, success. Make it a chant. Okay? I want you, because this is it. 60,000 thoughts, the psychologists tell us we think every single day. And for most people, for the last 10 years, you've been thinking the same thoughts. So therefore, just doing the same stuff over and over and over again. Now, we are deliberate millionaires. We need to get deliberate about what we're allowing to take up room in our mind. So, we're going to replace some of those 60,000 thoughts with very deliberately chosen thoughts of free, fulfilled, abundant, love, wealth, success. Okay? Use those words all through the day as frequently as you remember. Try to remember frequently. Okay, when you're going to the loo, do it. When you're standing in front of a mirror, do it. When you're still driving anywhere, free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love. You can listen to music whilst also saying free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free. What you're doing is retraining your subconscious mind to open up to freedom, to fulfillment, to abundance, to love, okay, to wealth, to success. That becomes your norm because you are speaking it over yourself all of the time. When I started doing this first, my children thought I was slightly loopy because I was whispering under my breath all the time. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Mother, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Free, fulfilled, abundant love. Okay, so please use it as numerous times, particularly if you start to think to yourself, "Is this ever going to work? This kind of thing never works for me," and blah blah. Cut the thought off as soon as it starts to occur to you. And instead, free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love. At some point, we can look into exactly looking at all of these thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And when you stick around in abundance, I will teach you different methodologies for healing these weird and wonderful thoughts that keep you bound up and anchored in the wrong life. But for this 14 days, please just simply catch yourself as soon as you find your mind going off to crazy places, even when it's not. Choose very deliberately to think of free, fulfilled, abundant love, free, fulfilled, abundant love, well said, numerous times a day. Okay. Numerous times a day. Numerous times a day. Okay. Moving on. No complaining. Number 4. No complaining. Particularly if you would like to have some kind of breakthrough in money, do not spend time complaining. Complaining, it's almost like canceling out what you are. In fact, it is canceling out what you are hoping to experience. So no complaining. For some of y'all, you find this really difficult. Again, with my clients, some of them found this particular step quite difficult. Why? Because they suddenly realized that most of what they talked about was some kind of complaint about someone or something, somehow. Okay, start to notice. And as soon as you notice that your words are taking you down a complainy kind of route, of course, if something is going wrong, then go straight to the person that can actually deal with it and ask for a specific result that you would like. But usually when we're complaining to someone who cannot do anything about it, and we're complaining in such a way that there's no actual solution. So that's not useful. It's not useful to you. It's not useful to your psyche. It's just not useful. So catch yourself. And you might find that you don't actually have much to say anymore. But that's because you've gotten so used to just complaining. Enough. Okay, so let's start again, be gracious to yourself, but do your best. Do not complain. Do not complain. If you need to come into group and say what's happening to you and blah, 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 that's fine. Just come in with the intention that you're going to get support. That's fine. However, all through the day, complaining to this person and that person, getting into conversations where everybody's complaining about this and that, the other. No. Enough. You have to get very deliberate about the words that are coming out of your mouth. You are too powerful. You are too powerful to allow your words to just be willy-nilly complaining about things. Okay, this was just another person in 7 days. They got some money from some old website they didn't even know they'd forgotten existed. Okay, 5th action. In the group, Monday to Friday, you will see this picture come up. Monday to Friday, this picture will come up. For some of you, it might be Sunday night because my time is different from yours. But anyway, usually Monday to Friday, first thing in the morning, this picture will come up. I want you to go to number 4 because it's in the caption. There is the Deliberate Millionaire Daily Ritual. I do not want you to do the whole daily ritual. This is your daily ritual, this 14-day thing. That's going to be your daily ritual for this 14 days. But go to number 4. Number 4 is the divine download. Please read it. Sit down with the divine, with your journal and a notebook, and just simply say to the divine, say to the air, if that's all you could think of right now, is how is this relevant to me? And then whatever comes up for you, write it down. Whatever comes up for you, draw it if necessary. If it's just colors that come up, draw them. Or an impression of something, draw it. Interpret it however feels good to you. What comes up for you? What is relevant in this? That's it. This is you starting to deepen your connection to the divine. Okay, because I sit with the divine every day and ask what the community needs to hear, and that's what I deliver into the group each Monday to Friday. Okay, so look for that image, Spirit Speaks, and then look for number 4 on the daily ritual. Read it, and then write down what you feel the divine is saying through the message. what's is being said to you. This is you starting communication with the divine, okay, or deepening your current communication with the divine. So write down, as I said, write down what you hear, perceive, or feel. The sixth action is please, please, please. One, write down your gratitudes last thing in the evening. Last thing in the evening, go over the day, think to yourself, yay, what went right? Look for what is going well. What is going well in my life right now? Write it down. Again, I said earlier that one of the things that some of my clients discovered was that they pay more attention to what is going wrong. Most of us do pay more attention to what is going wrong. It's like I give the example of when I was doing my property stuff more actively. I had like 65 tenants that I was looking after, and if one tenant out of the 65 didn't pay their rent, all I could think about was that one tenant. It's like 64 people paying their rent, but my whole life was consumed by this one tenant. And that's what some of your life is like. Lots of great things could be happening, but all you see is the one little thing that isn't quite right. By starting to choose very deliberately to look for things to be grateful for, you start to pay more attention to when things start working. And as things start manifesting in your life, you really do want to appreciate them, so that what you appreciate appreciates, honey. So if you're appreciating all the things that are going wrong, guess what? You are causing it to appreciate, as in grow. But if you start appreciating the things that are starting to go right, you'll see that there's more and more things. Not because, oh, I'm just going to look for all things, because we're not into just being grateful so that we can settle in a life we don't want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, however, that we do want to look out for the good. We need to be someone who looks for the good, finds it, and expands it, because you're paying attention to it. You're giving it lots of energy. It has no choice. It is the law that whatever you focus on will increase. Okay, so, and then come into groups. So write down yours, write up to 10 or more, or whatever, and then come and share with us. You can share just one if you really want to, but I really want to see you guys in group each day, saying how things are going and your gratitudes. Share your gratitudes in group. I do mine Monday to Friday as well, and I send you a reminder as well. So watch out for the reminder email, but you do not have to wait for the reminder email in case you're going to bed before I do. You don't have to wait for the reminder email. Type out your come into group. If you haven't already introduced yourself, then come and introduce yourself. Most of you haven't. Come and introduce yourself in group. I want to know who you are. Okay, so don't just lurk. Please don't be one of those. I mean, some of y'all are already doing it on the call here. Don't be that person that's just lurking. Okay, show up. But come into group. Come and share your gratitudes. Okay, you can just start a post of your own and share your gratitudes. Take part in this. Okay. And that's number 6. This is somebody who did it. Again, she got a new yoga studio in the 7 days, because she was doing it for 7 days. Okay, and she was free, fulfilling, and abundant and loving it, and it was rolling off her tongue. Okay. Next, 7. Used to just say, just do it, but then I added a bonus action. Get some actual money notes, some actual currency, your currency, whatever it is. Smell. I am at one with an awesome amount of money. I am at one with an awesome amount of money. I am at one with a heck of a lot of money. I am at one with a beautiful amount of money. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Yeah, smell it, bring it up to your nose, get used to the smell of money. At some point, you'll be so used to the smell of money, you don't actually need to have the money in your hands anymore, basically. But I want you to have that, just get the feeling and the smell of money all over your face. I am at one with an awesome amount of money. Particularly if you struggle in the area of money. Okay, if you struggle in the area of money and you really do think that money is really hard to get and blah, 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 really do this. Okay, it's a bonus action, but it's a very useful one. Okay, so smell money and then declare, I am at one with an awesome amount of money, because the truth is you are. You've just gotten so used to living with scarcity, you've forgotten that actually there's no end to abundance, including money. And money is ultimately just love energy materialized. And there's no end to love energy. So you just need to learn how to use it. And we start by accepting the truth of ourselves. You are at one with an awesome amount of money. Okay, that's number 7. So simple actions. Very simple. Nothing, it doesn't have to involve anybody. It's very simple things. Anyone can do this. Will you do this? That's the question. Will you do this? Now that you've seen how simple it is, I want you to make a commitment to yourself, and we're agreeing it all together here. I will do this. If you are determined that you will, then commit. I want you to write it in the chat right now. Am I only going to get Wendy? Probably. But I'm hoping that more of you will put some in there. Make a commitment. Make a commitment. Please do not be the one just sitting on the outside, being critical or being somehow above it all, aloof, thinking that somehow you're above it all. You're not. I love you. But if you want change, play full out. This isn't about just lurking and watching everybody else and comparing yourself to everybody else or thinking you'll somehow know better. If you did, you wouldn't be here at all. Okay. So engage. Will you do this? Make a commitment. I will do this. I am in. Thank you, Evelyn. Evelyn, very cool. I will do this. I want to hear from you guys. Will you do this? Will you do this? It's very simple. Will you do this? Will you do this? Because it has the potential to change everything for you, but it depends on your decision. As I said, decision after decision. Every day will be the decision. Will you do it today, or will you tell yourself, "Oh, I forgot"? Will you? Will you? You are the one that makes the decision. You are the one that makes the change. I can invite you to change, but I can't do it for you. Sometimes I wish I could for a lot of people, but I can't. So will you do this? Will you do this? I'm in. Okay, just one person is going to do this. Okay, well, the choice, as I said, is yours. The thing is about making this commitment is I know that the inner demons may come up, okay? As you make this commitment that you're going to change things, there'll be the need to stay in your comfort zone. And so all the fears and all the doubts will suddenly come up. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not sure I should. Stories will come up. And what I do ask you to please, when this happens, if this happens to you, don't be the lone wolf. Do not be the lone wolf. It hasn't served you in the past. I know you're probably that person everybody else looks up to for support, and you're the one that always has the answers. And so in some ways you've learned to cover up your own and just put on a facade and show up as if everything is working. And great, that's served you so far, ish. What I do ask you to do is this. You have two options when this happens. If this happens, it doesn't have to happen to everyone. Okay, so don't go looking for demons. Okay, if it does happen to you and you do need some kind of support, then come into group. We do what we call a check-in. Just come and share what's going on in your mind. Explain, just give me a little bit of a paragraph just saying this is what is happening. I'm struggling with this, blah, blah, blah. What I like to do is, because I come into group every day, usually Monday to Friday, I'm there. Usually even Saturday and Sunday, I'm there lurking in the background somewhere watching to see what's happening. But Monday to Friday, I'm there. I do some teaching, I do some training, but I start with what I call the Live Life Deliberately stream. And I will look at everybody's check-ins, answer anything that needs answering, download any messages that need to be downloaded for you. So come in, get the help. So that's one option, is do it that way. Another option is to get private support from me. Okay. So if you would rather privately speak with me in some way, then that is also available. So you can use the group, or you can come and get the private session with me for the next 14 days, and only for the 14 days. Okay. You have access to the Make Your Life Work Better diagnostic consultation. Okay. It's a focused 25-minute session. It uncovers what's been holding you back, all of that stuff in all different areas of your life. And what we do in this session, or what I do with you, is that I ask you a series of powerful questions just to kind of get clarity about what's going on, what's happening, what is getting in the way, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll uncover, with the help of the divine, any hidden emotional, mental, spiritual blocks, whatever that's keeping you stuck in whatever in the wrong life for you. Okay. And then you will leave that session with some kind of next step. This is what you need to do next. Usually I give you both an internal thing you need to do and a very practical thing that you need to do, because we have to partner, as I said at the beginning, we have to partner these both things together. And you will leave that session feeling revived, re-inspired, empowered, to finally begin living luxuriously in alignment with your life's purpose, or whatever is going on right now. Okay. Okay. If it is appropriate, yes, I will make recommendations for us to work together, because sometimes you need accountability to kind of keep things going, in which case working on a continual basis will serve you ultimately. So if it will serve you, I will make a recommendation on what you need to do next. Oh, but for some of y'all, just this session will be all you need. just to kind of shift things, break things so that you can see things more clearly and move forward ultimately. So as I said, you can get this session for just $7, okay? $7, as well as all the other things that come with it, because if you saw in that picture, there was like books and all of this. You can get that. And How to Hear Back from the Divine is a really, really powerful audio, just teaching you exactly how to hear back from the divine. There's my music album. I'm very proud of my music album, which will really raise your frequency and all of that. So you get all of that, but only for the next 14 days, okay? Because after that 14 days, in my mind, you know who I am. So if you do want to have a private session with me, then it's a clarity session, which is very powerful as well, ultimately, but it will be a bit more of more towards the regular price. But for the next 14 days, and you'll get the reminder of all of this, it'll give you as you're getting the reminders each day, the two options for getting support will be on each reminder. So watch out for that there, and make sure you take advantage of it within the 14 days. Okay, now, so you now have everything you need to have that tangible breakthrough, to actually start breaking your old patterns, to put yourself on a different path. And yes, you will be invited to stick around in abundance when this is done. I would strongly urge you to take advantage of that, because if you do 14 days here or 30 days or whatever, and then you go back to living the life you have been living to date, you will keep getting the same result that you've been getting. You may have a tangible breakthrough right here, get all excited, and then you go back to living the way you were, then nothing is going to change. This is the reset, the line in the sand that from now on, things are going to be different because you choose to keep them different. And so, yes, beyond this 14 days, you'll be invited to stick around, and then you'll start doing the daily ritual and all of that stuff to keep your healing and to go deeper and to take back authority, take back dominion over your own power to create the life you are meant for. Yes. So you have what you need for the next 14 days. Please, whether you committed, well, I hope you made that commitment to do it. It's very simple. Please do it. Okay? And that's us. That's us. That's us for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in group. Come and introduce yourselves. If you're new to our group, come and tell us who you are. Come and tell us who you are. I want to know who you are. Okay? Come and tell us a little bit about yourself. Say hello in group. You should all have access to the group right now. In fact, that's the only way you'll be here. So come and say hi in group. I want to see you. This recording will be sent to you sometime later in the next few hours or so. So yes, I'm looking forward to hearing about your tangible breakthroughs. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. I look forward to seeing you in group. Okay? Until the next time, my lovelies, go forth and prosper. You are meant for more. Allow yourself to create it. Until the next time, much amazing love. Bye.